The Acer Predator Helios 300PH31552-710B is an excellent gaming laptop that performs like a pricier machine without skimping on build quality or features. Acer's Predator Helios 300 has achieved milestones we never thought a gaming laptop could do. In under 2 years, it has managed to be popular, powerful, and affordable. You'd think popularity would be the hardest thing to score, but that's what caught our eye first. The specific model of the Predator Helios 300 we're reviewing, the Predator Helios 300PH31552-710B, has maintained a steady position among the top 10 best-selling laptops on online stores, for many, many weeks. Looks like it won't quit. We reviewed the original Predator Helios 300 here and called it a superb gaming notebook. Months later we reviewed an updated model with an Intel 8th Gen Core i7, clad in an eye-catching design with a markup in price of an extra $100. Our opinion was far muted. Now, the model that's selling so well is basically a refreshed model of the initial version, but it doesn't carry the marked up price that we didn't like in last year's model. For that reason, we decided to bring in this laptop to get a closer look at what it offers, and why it's managed to hit the high echelons. Looking into the specs, we can certainly see why the Helios 300 is powerful, relatively, anyway, boasting NVIDIA's GeForce GTX 1660T, 6-core Core i7-9750H, 16GB of RAM, 1080p/144Hz panel and 512GB SSD, it's a decently configured gaming laptop. With those specs, for its listing price is pretty fair, and the 5.5-pound weight won't bog you down on daily commute. Design. On the outside, the new Helios 300PH31552-710B has the typical look of a gaming laptop. It sports a black design, save for blue accents sprinkled here and there. The lid is a brushed, hard plastic surface with a Predator logo along with 2 metallic, vertical lines that are not illuminated. The back is dotted with exhaust vents accented by 2 blue lines, one of which expands across the bottom of the device in an appealing angled design. The bottom plays host to the feet and 2 easily removable pop-out lids secured with a tiny screw in each. This offer quick access to the 2 memory slots. You can upgrade to 32 GB, and what looks like a compartment for adding a second SATA 3 base 2.5-inch hard drive or a solid-state drive. About the only other blue accent you'll find on Acer's laptop is a thin blue line outlining the touchpad, and accented WASD keys for right-handed gamers. Lefties will do with the arrows. The blue trims are complemented by the laptop's overall angular design along the top screen and along the front of the device. Display. The Predator Helios 300PH31552-710B's 15.6-inch in-plane switching, IPS, screen has a native resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels. The screen has a matte finish, so you can comfortably use it, even in bright lighting conditions, without picking glare from the surface. Being an IPS panel, it's viewable from even odd angles, which is important when you have many people viewing the screen, some from over your shoulder. For the price, it is easier to expect a little more from the display, something better than 1080p, but it would be a bit of a stretch from a gaming laptop, or a higher refresh rate panel, making this screen just fine. After all, having a higher res screen doesn't mean that the Helios 300's internal components would be able to handle graphic-intensive AAA games and deliver butter-smooth frame rates at 1440p or 4K. Ports. Meanwhile, if you're going to be lugging this 5.07-pound laptop around all day, your shoulders won't have it easy. Still, stacked against some rivals at this price range, the Predator is an obvious lightweight. Still, you can slip the Helios 300 in your backpack and tote it around the place without worry. Positioned along those slim edges you'll find a respectable number of ports. For gaming, Gigabit Ethernet is a must-have if you're always online but don't have super-fast Wi-Fi. There is a USB Type-C port, 3 USB 3.1 ports, one with power-off charging, an HDMI port, a mini display port and a headphone jack. Wireless connectivity comes via Killer Double Shot Pro Wireless AC-15550-802. 11 acres Wi-Fi and an HD webcam, 1280 by 720, with super high dynamic range, SHDR, support. Keyboard and touchpad. The chiclet-style keyboard on the 300PH31552-710B has nice travel, and it comes with a dedicated numeric keypad, which is a bonus for a 15-incher. In fact, it is very spacious, backlit with a large palm rest area. The WASD have painted blue accents, while the rest of the keys are black and white with backlighting. The keyboard is ideal for gaming with comfortable keys that provide long travel. Acer doesn't include any programmable keys, like most gaming laptops do, but they did implement a power button into the layout on the upper right. It isn't possible to dim the keys individually, just on and off. The touchpad has red accents as well and is smooth to use with a good dual cooling system. Performance. After a run of laptops using similar core components, the Acer Predator Helios 300PH31552-710B is among the first we're reviewing, packing some new hardware of note, courtesy of Intel and NVIDIA. In addition to a 9th generation Intel Core i7-9750H processor, the main item of interest is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660T GPU, the latest release in the graphics lineup. However, it isn't the most powerful. There are big boys in the lineup, including the Turing RTX 2080 and RTX 2080 Ti, the released in April GeForce GTX 1660T and its equally new partner, the GeForce GTX 1650, occupy a spot between the last generation 10 series Pascal GPUs, and the current top-tier RTX 20 series Turing GPUs. This is the first time we're reviewing a laptop with both a GTX 1660T and the Core i7-9750H, for that matter, so our review section will be setting the benchmark, if you will, for the component's performance going forward. In theory, considering its place in the hierarchy, the GTX 1660T's performance scores should be close to a GTX equivalent like a GeForce GTX 1070, but still below that of a GeForce RTX 2060. Both the GTX 1660T and GTX 1650 are based on NVIDIA's Turing architecture, like the 20 series GPUs in the GeForce RTX line. Instead they bear GeForce GTX monikers, like last year's Pascal GPUs. Reason? Simply because, despite using Turing architecture, the GeForce GTX 1660T and GTX 1650 don't readily offer the advanced ray tracing lighting technology or have tensor cores, required for the anti-aliasing DLSS feature we're seeing in a few top-tier games. The idea is to create a more affordable option that can still offer good performance without these prime features, and the Helios 300 indeed comes in at an appealing price point compared to similar laptops. Rounding out the specs, here are 16GB of RAM and 512GB SSD, which is adequate, if not ideal, amount for storing games. The storage option isn't quite popular, but it helps speedy up the system and store most of your games and files. For general productivity, it all trickles down to the inclusion of the 6-core, 12 threads, processor and a GTX 1060, a potent combination for media creation and stable gaming at 1080p. It's a better performer as compared to machines released in mid-2018, including the Dell G5587-7866 PLK Plus with a previous gen processor and a GTX 1050T graphics card. Graphics performance. Modern AAA games play at native 1080p resolution, and do so at impressive frame rates. The 2018 edition of Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, for example, at maximum settings tallied 159 frames per second, FPS, but drops to 134 FPS at the more intensive Ultra preset. Other titles affirm the Predator's gaming prowess, including Fortnite, 127 FPS, and League of Legends, 172 FPS, in the same maximum detail settings. In all these games, the system delivers smooth frame rates. It's clear that with an onboard 1080p display, this iteration of the Predator Helios 300 is a robust mobile gaming laptop. These numbers are at par with other laptops featuring the VR-supporting GeForce GTX 1060, but the newer Coffee Lake CPU counts for a lot more. Seeing that the screen has a 144 Hz refresh rate, it means that the system can easily deliver better than 72 FPS, giving more reason for the system to come with anything more powerful than this GTX 1660T graphics card.